waiting for you. I'm Taren S, a High Priestess in a Crossroads Witchcraft Tradition. And I've been brewing magic for a very long time. Come on in, let's brew some together. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the House of Witchcraft. I am so excited. I have Papa Nico is finally joining me today. It's only taken me 2 years to get him here. Hello, Papa.
Hello, welcome. Hi, Bobo.
He's always so busy. For those of you who don't know, Papa Nico has a Botanica, a shop in Florence, South Carolina. I used to work there, and that is actually where I wrote my book, Voodoo in the Psalms. I was sitting behind the counter and scribbling notes, and if it wasn't for Papa, I don't know if I'd still be finished. You kept me on track, and I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
And today I wanted to talk to you about being a voodoo priest, basically. And my first question is, what's the common misconceptions?
We know everybody criticize when you into voodoo life, because voodoo is life. And some people take it like it's evil. It's no good. So they don't understand that way back before Jesus Christ, they were using that power, the cosmic. They're using ancestor. They're using all kind of herb, to help healing, prosper, everything. So, but a lot of people who has the knowledge of it is welcome to and understand it.
Yes, that once you start doing a little research, you start finding out that it's all about the goodness of life.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And that, when you were younger, did you use the word voodoo?
Yes, we did. And then some people, it depends on the culture and the people where they're from. They can call it roots, they can call it voodoo, they can call it witchcraft, they can call it so many, or spiritual, they can call it any kind of name, but it's still the same thing.
Right, but because I know a lot of times you don't actually, like within hoodoo, nobody says I'm doing hoodoo.
Mm-hmm, true.
You don't ever use the word. It wasn't until it became trendy that all of a sudden we're hearing hoodoo. And I grew up with, you whispered that in a corner. And was that the same for voodoo? Was like everybody doing it and nobody said it? Or were you openly saying it?
Yes, some people were, back in those days, I probably say 30 years ago, people were very in the closet to it. Because you don't have to, if you're a real voodoo priest, you don't have to put all kind of gimmick, dress up and rings to make people know so they can scare of you. And no, you could be simple. You could look natural, simple, wear the natural clothes, and then people don't have to know what is background, what do you practice if you're a voodoo priest, or not. But now these days, I'm glad more people getting into it now.
How can I get involved?
In what?
In voodoo. If I want to get involved with voodoo, how do I do it?
Well, a lot of people don't know that once you're born, you're born with a spirit, and that's the spirit of Dambala. Everybody born with that spirit. This is why your vertebra look like a snake. So you don't have to go to a voodoo priest to say, oh, let me initiate it, because you already got, if they tell you they're going to give you Dambala or they're going to give you another spirit, you don't have to. You're born with it. And plus your ancestor can help you with it too, But if you really want to initiate it, you could, yes, go to a voodoo priest and you work under them and they initiate you. And then you can be access to whatever they want. And then you can start working for people and do your work also if you want to get to that level.
And I'm going to ask you a question. I know you've heard, I've asked you probably 100 times these past couple of decades, but people still keep asking me, can white people do voodoo?
Of course. This is nonsense, Voodoo doesn't have no color. It doesn't have no prejudice.
Why do you think they keep saying that though? Because like you hear all the time that, oh, no.
I heard that too. They say,
your skin has to be a certain shade.
That's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. It doesn't matter where you're from or what color, what race. You still could be a Mambo, a Uga,
Right. I know the answer, but people, I have them come up and they're like, well, what about the white people? And, because there's a lot of information out there that tells them that, no, you cannot do this.
I see a lot of white Mambo, a lot of white high priests, a lot of Hugan.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't need to classify them as a race or what color you are, what, you cannot, No. It's just like I heard one time they say, you cannot turn white people into zombies.
Why can't you do that?
That's what they say, but that's not true.
I'm like, yeah, that's not.
That's not true.
You just have to really be careful with all the misinformation out there.
Yeah. And now there's a lot, since they had the technology on YouTube, everybody tried to make their own page. You will find a lot of misinformation.
And a lot of scammers.
Yes. They have that now. That's what's going on in Haiti now. Because you have to understand, back in 50 years ago, there was a president that go around and killing all the voodoo priests in Haiti. And those that was in the way in the mountain, they could not get to them. This is why the one that in the city now, they are fake. They're not giving you the real stuff, now. So therefore, you're not gonna get the same result if you go to the mountain where they give you the real thing,
Right. And what's a good way to avoid the scammers? How do you have any advice for folks out there?
The only advice is if somebody refer you to someone they used before, because now these days the Uga and the Mambo, most of them are just doing it for commercial. They just want to make money, but that's not true. They come and tell you that they're gonna give you a bag full of money, and that's not true. How come they don't get it themselves?
How come they don't have the bag of money?
Themselves. So they just want to take money from people, Most of them are like that,
Yeah, and I always tell people, if it's cheap, if they said that they could give you a bag of money for $40.
That's a scam.
That nobody gets that for $40. What made you?
Yeah, that's a scam.
Yeah, that sometimes you have to think. and that we have a lot of scammers on the internet that are like, oh yeah, send me $40 and I can fix everything for you. Send me $60, I can fix everything for you.
Mhm.
You know, and
Those are no good, you know. Those are scam people. They try to make money to make a living, you know.
yes, because they found out that they can.
Yeah.
Is really what it's about. All right, let me see what our next question is. They want to know what to be wary of. Oh, what is a question that you always wish somebody would ask you?
Yeah. There's so many, I don't know which.
There's this one thing that you wish folks would ask you.
That I wish they asked me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well,
what would you like people to ask you?
wow. I don't know, because so many people ask me nonsense question, you know, such as, do you believe in God? And all that question, those type of question. But for them to ask me a question, are you...
A smart question is what you would like them to ask you. All you're getting is this foolish. People ask you if you believe in God?
Oh yeah, definitely. I get that a lot.
What do they think you believe in?
Yeah, I don't know. They think that if you doing this kind of work for them, that means you're nowhere close to God. You worshiping a different person, a different God. That's an evil God. That's all they think about. And this is where they're getting it wrong, you know.
Well, maybe, do they not know? Do they not, or at least from what I've been around, all of the Haitian folk are also Roman Catholic.
Yeah. So what happened, you know, even though Voodoo has nothing to connection to the Catholic saint, has nothing to do with the Catholic saint. Right. They just, back in those days when the slave time, they would stop them from practicing Voodoo. So those slaves were so smart to initiate those saints. So when the master come, they think that they're worshiping the Catholic saint, but actually they're worshiping their own ancestor and their own spirit, you know. So this is where the Catholic saint has the combination with the Voodoo, you know. Just like if you say Saint Jacques Major, it's not the same Saint Jacques that you will think, you know.
But you can worship the ancestors and the spirits and God.
Oh yeah, yeah, because
they make it sound like you almost have to choose, that if you're putting your saint candles up for the ancestors, for the Loa, that you can't not believe in God.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's what I get a lot.
Oh, and you're like, well, don't they ever think that just maybe you can do both?
I don't know. That's a lack of knowledge, you know, for them.
You don't have to choose.
They hear from other people saying it and they repeat it, and that's and just in their mind, you know.
Right, right. So what is, when we talk about wanting to get involved in something, we talk about doing it respectfully. So if I was to set up an altar to one of the Loa, how would I go about doing that respectfully? If I wanted to set up an altar to Oya.
Okay, well, first of all, you need to find out your background, of your family background, your family ancestor. Then once you find out, and where they call it habitation. Your habitation is where all your great-great-grandfather used to live, used to do things. So you have to search for who your great parents were worshiping. And then second, you need to learn more about the basic of the Orisha that you want to set up an altar for. Once you get that, then you can create the altar and get your cloth and get all your candles, get everything, you know, ready. Then so you can do the offering, all that, you know, to the Orisha.
When you set up your altars to Shango, when did you know Shango was in your head?
Oh, I feel it since I was 16.
You were young?
Yeah, that's when, you know, because I started work with my dad to be just like, what would you say? They call it a Hansi. A Hansi is just like a servant of the high priest, of the Huga. So being around where my dad worked in the peristyle, that's what they call it, the peristyle.
The temple is what he's saying.
Yeah, the temple, but it's just a peristyle, you know, in Creole.
Yes.
And I keep feeling things, you know. Then when I was 16, when I turned 16, that's when I know Shango was my close Orisha.
Right. And once you realized it, what did you do next, I guess? What was the steps to?
What I did next, I researched to find out who was Shango. And what does he like? What can I do for him? What he can do for me? And then after that, once you get into it, then you create an altar so you can invoke him to be there for you all the time. So, you know, because sometimes he say you don't need to be in your presence. He'll be there for you, no matter where you are.
Right, right. Oh, I think it's beautiful. I love your altars. I always have, and that's something I miss at the shop and everything. And let me see. Our last question is, is a simplified definition of voodoo, which I think you already answered at the very beginning of this video when you said voodoo is life.
Voodoo, yes, of course. Voodoo is life.
And so I don't think, you know,
it's just like when you die, people don't realize that. It's just like your soul travel. You get three echo in three different groups, three different parts. You get the first one that goes to the cosmic, second one go to the underwater, and the third one is traveling under in the, you know, and how do you call that? And I'm sorry, you cut me off guard. It's traveling,
right?
Okay, just like what you call astral travel. This is why when you're sleeping, you know, your soul leaves your body, and then you see that you go somewhere. And then by the time you wake up, that's when they come back to you again. This is why sometimes you wake up like you feel like you jump.
Yeah. Like you're back.
Yeah, you're back. But you, like I was saying, you know, when you die, your body travel and stay for 7 years before it reincarnated again. It's just like when it go under the water, it's just like a computer. You delete all the information that was there before when you were in the present, because when you come back, you could come back either as a woman, as a man, as a plant. Yeah, because this is why the plant has soul in it. This is why most Huga, they choose a plant to make in the backyard, because the plant has a soul in it too.
Oh yeah, there's a spirit in
yeah, there's a spirit in there. So therefore, this is why they always tell you, you keep going back, because they think about, people don't realize that your soul will come back in life 8 times. You have 8 times for your soul to come back, which is 800 years, maybe. So you be going back, back and forth.
Right, right. Yeah,
there's a lot I would like to say, but this is my first interview, and when you're in Voodoo, there's a lot of stuff you don't want to come out and say, because everything is secret. Everything is more because I never do it before.
I completely, and I want all of you witch folk out there to understand it. It actually did take me 2 years to get them on the channel for this video.
Yeah.
I've been whispering in his.
I see a lot of people go on YouTube and put everything they're not supposed to put. And it become like nothing is sacred no more. Nothing is secret also. So therefore, there's certain things you cannot say and certain things you can.
I absolutely agree, because there are things that are in my books. That's my magic. And I feel almost like if I share it, it will dilute it down.
It's just like
and I don't want to share.
That's right. For example, if you serve a spirit, you don't want to go around and tell people which spirit that you have, that you serve. Because if that person wants to do evil to you, they're going to use your same spirit to crush you. So this is why you don't go around and tell people,
don't post stuff
yes, I have this, I have that,
Oh, it's scary. They post stuff up all over social media and pictures and things and tell all their personal information. And, and that's where it's so important when we talk about, doing protection work. Part of the protection work is don't tell.
Yeah.
All right. If you don't tell, you don't have much to worry about. Like what you're saying, don't go around telling people your name, full name, date of birth. Don't go around telling people where you live. Don't go around telling people where you live. It's because they come and rob your house. Start telling people your private business, and they're going to start wishing your luck away on you. Because a lot of folks don't like to see other people successful.
That's true.
And you have to be careful, and that's the one thing I as well get upset about when I'll be like, why did they post that online? Why are they telling those folks? You don't know these people. You don't know their real intentions towards you, But now a lot of, I think a lot of our millennials and our young folk are looking back to the old magic, looking back to the hoodoo, the conjuring, root working, looking back within the religion of voodoo. And one of the things I guess, is what advice would you give somebody that's starting out?
Well, my advice first is to be careful, beware of wherever you go, so they don't give you a different type of, get you into something that you don't want to be.
Oh.
Because sometimes you think you're getting a good spirit, and you're invoking the evil spirit, and that will manifest your body and don't want to leave after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you for saying that. These people that rush in just blindly and believe everything, back to, you don't know these people. Take your time, be careful, and everything. And Papa Nico has his shop in Florence, South Carolina. If you're in that area, go down there. He does up some great blends. His quick cash oil, I think, is the best there is. that always works. I love that stuff. And everything. And I want to thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And I'm going to try to get you back on. And next time we might actually be able to go live and take questions. I know for whatever reason, the technical computer god said no.
That's right. Maybe the spirit didn't want us to be live.
It is what it is. I want to thank all of you witches for leaning in and watching my channel. If it's your first time here, please hit the subscribe button. And of course, you know, I'm going to tell you to go to houseofwitchcraft.com, sign up for our newsletter. We have all sorts of happenings and events going on. And I'll end this video the way I've ended them all. I hope y'all have as bright of a blessed day as I'm having. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and ebobo. Yeah, you're going to give me an ebobo.
Ebobo.